So what we have done here to help provide some additional context to the main election night reporting website on electionreturns.pa.gov, we have assembled this supplemental election night returns dashboard. So the big difference between those two websites is that the electionreturns.pa.gov site is going to feature vote totals for candidates, and that'll show the votes by not only the total votes for the candidate, but it also will show votes by the different voting methods. So you'll see breakouts for candidates based on the number of votes that a candidate may have gotten from in person or votes in the polling place on election day, as well as votes by mail voting and also provisional voting. So this board, though, kind of helps to provide more supplemental information, and it'll provide more context of what the state of unofficial returns looks like. So this is going to be taking the ballots cast from the county election returns files, as well as the number of precincts reporting for in-person voting at the polling place, so that you can have that additional context to know, additionally where those counties are falling as they're kind of tallying the unofficial returns based on election day and all the mail voting that has been occurring across the Commonwealth. So what we have here on our first tab is essentially what'll be the reporting homepage. And this will just give you a very fast snapshot of what the returns are at a very high level across the state. So you'll see the last refresh of when the dashboard has been updated. And then you'll also see how many precincts still may have yet to be counting from the polling places for election day or in-person voting, as well as how many mail ballots have potential to still be counted by the counties and subsequently tabulated into the actual voting return process, so you can actually see the votes that are cast for a particular candidate. On this page, you have the option to use one of those jump buttons or hyperlinks at the bottom that say click to display precincts reporting or click to view mail ballots cast. If you're in a hurry and you just want to be able to jump to those pages, you can go ahead and click on those buttons and it'll navigate you directly there. Otherwise, you can use the tab at the bottom of the dashboard to easily navigate throughout the dashboard and see different pieces of information. So Sarah, if you want to go ahead and click on mail ballots processing. Thank you so much. We have a page here that'll give you a quick snapshot of where counties are in the county process for mail voting. So this would be representative of absentee and mail-in ballots that are being returned and counted at the county election offices. So we have a little description at the very top that'll help explain how the data set is derived, as well as a quick calculation that just tells you how many out of the total voting population in the county have gone through and voted by a mail ballot. And then you also have this nice table here that'll give you by county the number of ballots that were sent out to the voter and the number of ballots that were cast or returned to the county, as well as the number of ballots that were actually counted and tabulated through the county's election management or voting system software. So from there, we do a little calculation to let you know out of what the county has already calculated and tabulated through their election management software and how many ballots were returned to the county, approximately how many mail ballots have yet to be counted in that county, just so you can have a picture of if they still have a lot of mail ballots to process in the unofficial returns. And then we just have a little graphic that goes with it so you can kind of get the total distribution across the Commonwealth of what those totals actually look like by county. So Sarah, if you want to go ahead and go to the next tab. This is a a tab that just lets you know the total of mail ballots that were received by party. So this just gives you a quick little snapshot of different party groups. So you can see Democratic, Republican, no affiliation, and then all other voters of how many ballots were received back to the County Board of Elections. So if you want to go on to the precincts reporting. In this tab, you will also see just the overall snapshot of precincts reporting across the Commonwealth. Oh, sorry, so if you go to and refresh your screen, that'll take you to the latest. There you go. Now if you go to that precincts reporting tab. So in this tab, you'll have just total precincts and precincts reporting, as well as percent reporting by the county. So as you see on most pages, we have a little bit of a snapshot description, so we can kind of set the stage for what the data is truly representing below. But then we also have the nitty-gritty details of what you can visualize and see on election night. So as we are processing those files from the county on election night and the days after election night, these counts will continue to update throughout the dashboard. And then finally, if you move on to the next tab, we just have a little snapshot of certified voter registration totals by county. So once this is finalized here very shortly, this will be updated so that you have the final counts for the November election of total voters in the county, also by major parties for Democratic voters, Republican voters, and then essentially others or other minor party voters as well. And then we have two additional tabs that will be helpful. We have a key terminology page that we are here using to define what some of the common terminology is used throughout the board. So everyone has kind of a common understanding of what we are displaying to the public, as well as one last tab that is an option to go ahead and download the data. So we are going to be setting up some of this data out publicly for you to download if you wish to ingest it. So there, when the final resting place is wrapped up here and the next day, that will be a hyperlink where you see data.pa.gov. It'll take you directly to some of the data sets that are helping to assemble the visualizations in this board. So if anyone is interested in downloading them, you would be able to find it on the Commonwealth's open data portal at data.pa.gov and be able to ingest and review the data individually yourselves, in addition to finding all the data sets here. We are going to be launching this around election night, closer to 8 p.m. And then we'll be looking to provide routine refreshes throughout the evening on election night, approximately every 45 minutes or so. And then providing a regular cadence of updates in the days after election night, so that you guys have the latest, as well as the public, the latest information on what the state of the unofficial returns are across the Commonwealth. So we hope this will be a useful tool for the public to digest and just get that little extra bit of context of where the counties do stand in tabulating all the unofficial results between in-person voting as well as mail voting and any provisional ballots that may have been cast throughout the election process. So there will be an additional tab that is going to be added after election night, just so you know. It will be a tab specific to provisional voting. So once the counties do start reporting those totals, we will then report those out on this public dashboard as well, so that everybody knows where the provisional ballot counts stand and what may have yet to be wrapped up and counted by the county. So that will be unveiled within a few days after the election, so that we can provide updated metrics on how the provisional ballot counting process is underway. I hope, again, this will be very helpful. We're really excited to put this out there because it's going to give a lot of extra detail that we don't necessarily have on our main election night return site, as that is just focused on vote totals for candidates, whereas this will provide a lot more detail at the overall state of the unofficial counting process. So I hope you enjoy reviewing and utilizing this dashboard in the lead up through election night and afterwards, because we've enjoyed putting it together and want it to be a very useful resource to Pennsylvania constituents.